YouTube, Awesome Rider here. This is going to be a little bit of an update video on the channel in regards to toy reviews, as you can tell by the title. Now, despite the title and the thumbnail, which I just had a bit of fun making, I'm not totally stopping toy reviews, they're just changing the way they are being covered. As you probably have noticed if you followed the channel, I haven't really been reviewing any toys or collectibles outside of a random one every now and then of like an archived one I have. And I'm going to go over some updates on the main things I cover, how they will be changing, and kind of the future of that for now. And it could change. So we're going to go over Rider first, which is pretty easy because you kind of know the status quo of that. Sentai, PR, and then retro and related stuff. So to get Rider out of the way, you probably know I have not been covering that mostly in general in regards to like the toys, like outside of a random thing or a complete selection. And that's not going to change. I'm not regularly collecting. You know, I did pick up Gotchard's belt when it first premiered because I was excited, and then again, we know how that turned out. Like I ended up disliking the show so much, especially Hotaro, the worst, absolute worst. And then the toy itself had some problems with the scanning, which really sucked. So it kind of soured me on a little bit of momentum I had of maybe covering it regularly. And so as a result, I'm being much more reserved with Gav. I can't say that I'm like super jazzed up about the belt where I'm like itching to get it. I do kind of want to get some of those little guys because I think they look fun. But I'm not super excited about it anyway. But I'm going to hold off on picking up anything from it until I see if I like the show and if the toys seem like a can't miss. But odds are I'm not going to pick anything up, but I'm not going to close the door if I really end up liking the show and let's say like the first new Rider shows up and I decide to pick it up and it's relevant, maybe I'll review it. But other than that, it's going to stay the same where the reviews will be regulated largely to random stuff like a figure art or a complete selection that I might pick up either if it's relevant at the time or I'm just really jazzed up about it and I want to record a review for it. Now Sentai, I kind of followed a similar pattern. I was planning on covering Boom Boomja regularly like I had been. I covered the first few things, but then I just kind of fell behind because honestly, after all these years of doing it, sometimes it just gets stressful and it just kind of built up over the years in the sense that you want to get the reviews out like on time in a timely manner. So you kind of have this overall rush in so many different waves. Like you have to make sure you pre-order it on time enough that you can get the first wave. If you order it from somewhere like HLJ where you have to make sure you ship it before a specific time, otherwise they wait the whole weekend. So like you have to stay on top of so many things, like being able to get the pre-order, getting it at the right time, making sure you send it to ship if you've ordered it from there. And then when you get it, you know, you kind of have to rush the review, which results in sometimes making mistakes, and that gets frustrating because I know I've made mistakes in the past, and especially on ones where even though I know I made a few small mistakes, I still worked like really hard on a long video, and the only comment you get is, you forgot this, you forgot that, and it just got so draining. And so when I first missed the pre-orders for the couple auxiliaries that released first for Boom Boomja, I just kind of let it go. And I'm going to follow a similar pattern, at least for now with Sentai, where I'm only going to be reviewing the things that I pick up either that like are relevant or I'm super jazzed about. Like if I happen to pick up a Memorial Edition changer that like it's recent enough that it'll be relevant and I'm also really enjoying it, it'll be kind of the same as Rider. I maybe will return to recovering it like regularly one day, but for now I'm going to kind of take a more casual approach to it. And honestly, there's not a whole lot of complete selection things on the horizon I have planned to get because those have gotten exhausting as well because those are so expensive. It's not like, I mean, in general, if you keep up with it, it stacks up. But just the complete selection morphers and weapons or whatever are far more expensive than the main stuff. And so that really adds up, and they do too many of those. Not that I'm now getting them, but I think we just do them two back to back. And I wish we'd spread those out a little bit. Not to mention those are kind of unfun to cover to a degree because you have to show all the sounds, and this maybe is a bit laziness, but I don't care. But I kind of wish I could do the reviews for those where I can just give you the recommendation, like show you the core features and be like, is this worth your money or not, instead of being a demo video. Because you can go watch those. That's the thing too, trying to be on time with the Japanese toys, is you're never going to be, because even if you get the absolute fastest bazillion fast miles shipping, I don't know why I said it like that, someone in Japan can go pick it up right away or will get it faster. And in fact, I always use some of those silent reviews to make sure I get certain functions right or wrong or whatever. And so you can just go watch those videos for a demo. You know, that's the whole thing, is I wish I could just make those more concise because those get really tedious. Because the first parts are kind of fun where you're showing the core functions and you get to talk about it because I enjoy talking about it. But it's so boring sitting there clicking the button while it plays an audio drama. Like, why the hell do these things have like a Big Finish Doctor Who audio drama in them? Like, it's partly because I have to review them that it's annoying, but even if I wasn't reviewing them, I don't need this much dialogue. Like, even if it was in English, I wouldn't need that much, but it doesn't help that I can't understand it. Went on a bit of a ramble there, but the video is going to be titled Ramble Video. Bottom line is, there will still be sporadic Sentai reviews that may be relevant, but it's just going to kind of depend on if I'm excited about doing it and it seems relevant enough and worth it to do the review. Now going on to Power Rangers. Obviously, there are currently, as of this recording, no Power Rangers toys. We have announcements of a Playmates toy line coming. I'm going to assume it's going to be next year. It's currently like summer 2024. Maybe there's a small chance it'll show up by the holiday season this year. I don't know. I haven't heard anything since the announcement. I honestly can't remember if the press release had a date. It's possible it said 2025. But the bottom line is, we do know that there's stuff on the horizon, but there's currently nothing to review. There's no Lightning Collection. There's no main line. But I will be covering PR stuff more regularly when it comes out. I will definitely check out the Playmates toys. I'm highly curious about that. So expect, relevant coverage as fast as I can get it, because that's another thing you can't control when it comes to PR toys is, obviously I can go around checking stores or Amazon, but if it comes to checking physical stores, if I've checked all my Targets or Walmarts and they don't stock it, there's nothing I can do about that. But I will try to be on top of that and record that. And I have other stuff I kind of plan to do around that. Like I was thinking of doing a sort of ranking video on past MMPR basic figures before we get these new ones. Maybe a comparison video when we get them. So I do plan on covering that. If there's anything else that happens to come out that Hasbro announces, like if they suddenly revive the Lightning Collection or Morphers in the Lightning Collection or Zap, I will absolutely be checking those out. So that will be regular if it comes back. Now that will roll into retro content, which is something that I've gotten requests about in the past, and I do have a backlog of 3 to 5, I want to say, retro reviews that were recorded a long time ago that I've just kind of got pushed and pushed and pushed, and then I just kind of saved certain videos like that for rainy days where either it's really slow or I know I'm not going to be around to record anything that day. Let's put this up. So I do have some of those that you might see, and over the course of the rest of the year you might see a retro review or two that pops up every now and then, depending on if I feel like it or what falls into my lap, if I happen to pick up something on eBay or something, who knows. So that will be kind of random. But I do have a more concrete plan for a future kind of series of retro reviews, where obviously I was going through chronologically, but it's also been a while since I've done a lot of them. And my plan is to go through my collection again, because I don't know if I ever brought this up on the channel, but the crawl space at my parents' basement flooded earlier this year, and my whole collection wasn't down there, but a great deal of other random stuff from my collection and boxes was there, and so we had to pull a lot of it out of there. A lot of the boxes got damaged. That's not the important part, but I kind of had to throw a bunch of random stuff into my old room at my parents' house, and so that thing is just a mess of my old collection and a bunch of random stuff that was in the crawl space that I hadn't thought about for years. So I need to sort through all that and sort through my old collection and decide what I want to keep and want to sell. So I figured when I do that, which probably will not happen until later this year because I'm busy with other stuff right now, and I might be able to work on it every now and then, but I just don't have the time to dedicate to it. But I'm planning, starting around I want to say November, going into the first of next year, making a concentrated effort to go through that and specifically dig through retro PR toys and I can't really go by series. I sort of will go by series, but it's not the mess organize itself by series, but go through it and eventually organize by series and pick what I want to keep, what I want to sell. And as I do that, redo retro reviews for almost everything. So I will try to prioritize stuff I haven't done yet, but when I go through Dino Thunder, I have a nice new camera now since then. I think I've gone through 2 cameras since I filmed my old retro review, so I will be doing and bringing back retro reviews more regularly for stuff from MMPR all the way through Beast Morphers, probably not Beast Morphers because that's relatively relevant, but MMPR through Neo Saban-ish. I will be re-reviewing figures, Morphers, Megazords, all that stuff. It's just going to take a while because I also want to have fun doing it too. I don't want to force myself to be okay, we got to clean this up and find the Thundersaurus. I want to, be okay, today I'm going to clean this stuff up, and then when I find the Thundersaurus, I want to, practice with it, make sure I remember how all the functions work, and then record it when I'm in the mood. So expect rolling into the end of the year I know this is kind of ahead of time, but I've been getting a lot of questions lately about where toy reviews, so I wanted to state this. So if you stick with me, going into later this year, into 2025, there is going to be more regular retro reviews. It's not going to be necessarily maybe even one every week, but it will be more regular. It'll become one of the more regular videos, especially since we're in such a quiet time right now. But I just want to do it when I can concentrate time on it, but also want to be able to like have fun with it too, and bring back fun with the toy reviews and not make it an obligation where it feels like that's part of the other reason it's not as fun to record reviews for current stuff, is instead of being like, oh man, like Violet's Changer's on the way, it's like, oh man, Violet's Changer's on the way, like I was gonna watch Impractical Jokers, now I gotta do this. So I want to do it in a way that I can obviously dedicate time to the retro reviews, but also that I can have fun doing it and don't force myself to record when I don't feel like doing it. So, bottom line is, short story, very long, toy reviews are still going to be a part of the channel, they're just changing a little bit for now, and this is only a for now thing, for what I foresee for at least the next year or two. In the future I could change my mind, who knows, maybe a Sentai or two down the road, I'll be doing more regular Sentai reviews again. And again, in regards to PR, still expect regular content when that stuff comes back. But thanks guys for sticking with me, those of you that have. Let me know if there's anything you'd like to see or anything like that in the comments. As always, until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell to get notifications for my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.